Well, there's definitely no sign of cash-strapped Christchurch in our next story. If you think you've noticed more luxury cars on the roads, you could be right. The rebuild and insurance money is apparently doing wonders for the luxury car industry. Here's Jared McCulloch.
It's been a long wait for Tracy, here to pick up his new car. But what makes this visit different is his latest purchase here being unveiled at Jeff Gray BMW in Christchurch. It's the first BMW i8 to be sold in New Zealand, right here in Christchurch, and Tracy Gough is blown away.
It's surreal. I'm a very lucky bunny. I'm very lucky.
He's been a big fan of cars for years, taking to the garage to put together his own.
When I was 19, I built myself my own car. You're lucky because when you build it, you just had to get a warrant. So if it worked, then it was all right. You didn't have to get it certified. It was wonderful.
So here's a bit about the car. It's a hybrid vehicle sharing two engines, one electric and the other running on petrol, and can go from 0 to 100 kilometres an hour in just 4.4 seconds. It also has a top speed of 250 kilometres an hour. But this isn't his only car. Gough recently bought a BMW i3 worth $90,000. And a BMW spokesperson says sales of new cars are continuing to increase.
We experienced a record year last year, certainly from the global financial crisis in 2007, 8, 9, those years it was a real bottoming out. But certainly year over year we've been having record years.
It's even impressed the team on popular British television show Top Gear, awarding their vehicle Car of the Year for 2014.
If Jeremy and those guys like it, then absolutely, yeah.
He says they've sold over 2,000 BMWs last year, and they're not the only car dealership in the same seat. The managing director from Cropram Motor Group told media outlets Maserati sales had nearly doubled since 2008. But Finn believes buying high-end vehicles comes down to what the consumer wants.
I think with these sorts of vehicles, people appreciate them more. Certainly they're up around, for example, this car is $278,000, so it is an expensive model. But I think certainly over time people appreciate the finer things. As you've seen today, it is a real sort of work of art, and more people will be tending to buy them.
But the chief executive of the Christchurch Chamber of Commerce says the increase in car sales comes down to the massive scale of the Christchurch rebuild.
We're in the middle of, or at the front end of, New Zealand's biggest ever economic development program. $45 billion worth of rebuild, population of about 300,000 people impacted by that rebuild, $100 million a week being spent in the city on rebuilding our city, over and above all the other expenditure that's going on. And of course that $100 million is going into wages, it's going into materials, it's going into margins for businesses. So there's a lot more cash sloshing around in our economy than there ever has been.
And he says it gives those people opportunities to create new assets.
That means that people have more spending power, people like buying cars, they're going out and buying them, simple as that.
But he says he is concerned about the future of spending in Christchurch once the rebuild is complete.
You have to say that the economic activity, we had something like over 6% growth in our economy last year. To me that says probably 6% more cars. So you need to factor that in the context of the long-term rebuild of the city. What is the long-term impact of tipping $45 billion into a very small population? What does that lock in forever? What does that mean to spending patterns? What does that mean to the assets that people want to purchase? And I think we're starting to see something play out here in the motor vehicle industry.
In the meantime, Tracy can't wait to take his new car for a spin, or maybe...
Gently home, I think, probably. Yes.
Jared McCulloch, CTV News.